Covering news where you live. This is 5 News.
Well, thank you for joining us here for the latest news and weather where you live. I'm Joe Ellison. Now, the storms overnight caused some power outages in our area, but a lot of damage and video coming out of Oklahoma today. Let's take a look at what we're seeing in that area. Oklahoma emergency crews responding to a lot of this, trying to get people to safety. You can see debris everywhere in this area. Now, this is video. Let's take a look at it. Coming out of Texas, a combination of hail, lightning, and high winds made for some pretty dangerous driving conditions in that area. And Zach, now this was right before it hit our area. That's what this video we're taking a look at is.
Yeah, started out in the Texas-Oklahoma panhandles around 3, 4, 5 late evening or late afternoon Sunday, and then swept across Oklahoma during the evening hours, and then was pushing into Arkansas right around 12:30 to 1:30 a.m. this morning. And again, the National Weather Service from Tulsa to Norman going to have so many storm reports to go out there and try to figure out, was it a tornado or was it just straight line winds? And again, I'm serious when I say it will take them a couple days to get to all the storm reports, because pretty much the entire state of Oklahoma was impacted with this windstorm basically sweeping across the state and then moving into western northwestern Arkansas. And we had several 50 to 60 mile per hour damaging wind reports scattered around the river valley and in northwest Arkansas. Some tree and limb damage, and then even some power outages with the just breezy conditions overnight. That's moved out of here. Still a large dynamic storm system shifting to the east of us, but providing breezy conditions today. We're warm 60s to low 70s. Winds today will be about 15 to 25, gusting up to 30 miles per hour. We'll see winds relax some as we go overnight, 5 to 15, dropping into the 40s. And then we'll look for temperatures to get into the 70s, even warmer, likely ranging from the lower to upper 70s as we go through the day on Tuesday. More spring-like warmth building in here as we go through the first half of the week, similar to what we've seen the last couple weeks, which we know some colder air eventually will return. And that's when we could see our next setup coming together for some strong to severe storms, maybe even some wintry weather. Moisture will not be present today or Tuesday. We're going to have a very dry air in place, but moisture starts to show back up as we go into Wednesday. We could see some patchy drizzle. Clouds will increase across the area. Mainly River Valley South has a chance for drizzle. We all have a great shot as we go through the day on Thursday to see rain spreading across the region as our storm system gets closer. Gulf of Mexico moisture really pulled into the area. So we've got the lift, we've got the moisture, we've got the ingredients coming together for some rain. We've also got enough instability coming together as it looks right now for at least the threat for a few strong to severe storms. Best chance for that, I-40 south. That'll be late in the day Thursday. Then we're watching overnight into Friday, Joe. Cold pocket coming in, lingering moisture. We could see a wintry mix. Northwest Arkansas has the better chance right now. This will change some as we get closer. It's going to depend on the track of the storm. If it shifts further north, we'll have more of a severe threat shifting north. If it shifts further south, we'll have a better shot to see that wintry mix mixing in early Friday morning. We'll be covering this, of course, as we go through the next several days.
All right. Thanks so much, Zach. Well, today, Fort Smith police will continue their investigation into a body being recovered from the Arkansas River. They launched this recovery effort at the Harry E. Kelly River Park Sunday evening. Fort Smith PD say they will release more information today when available. Of course, be sure to stay with 5 News for updates on this developing story. In Fayetteville, nonprofit organizations could be getting some funding through the American Rescue Plan Act. The City Council approved $1 million in funding. So starting today, nonprofits that experience negative economic impacts due to the pandemic are able to apply. The deadline to apply, though, is March 10th. And dozens gathered outside of the Washington County Courthouse in opposition to a Senate bill known as the LEARNS Act. The rally was organized by the Northwest Arkansas Young Democrats this weekend. Fayetteville Senator Greg Leding and activist Derek Van Vost spoke at Saturday's rally, along with a few educators who say they agree with parts of the bill, but not all of it. The LEARNS Act covers a few different topics, including school choice, school safety, and teacher pay. Some educators say they'd like to see a salary increase for support staff included in this bill and don't like the idea of the school choice program, saying it will cut funding for public schools. But the senator who filed the bill says that's not the case. The LEARNS Act is headed to the House today after passing in the Senate last week. And Fort Smith Mayor George McGill is giving his 2023 State of the City address today. Now that'll be at 6 o'clock at the Smith Pendergraft Campus Center, the University of Arkansas Fort Smith campus. The mayor will break down the city's economy and future of where progress is being made. And while returning to the U.S. from his wedding in Mexico, a Springdale man, Cesar Acosta, was arrested and detained by ICE. 5 News was there when he was reunited with his wife. This story sparking a lot of interest from our community. And this weekend, a fundraising and awareness event was held to help tell his story. 5 News reporter Jose Carranza has more.
Immediately after Cesar Acosta's arrest and detention, his newlywed wife, Megan Taylor, began working to bring her husband home, even planning a fundraising event for his release, which later turned into a celebration.
I was thinking that today would be sad, but now I'm just grateful, and it's a celebration, and I now have a bigger heart for all this, and I want to help others too.
Cesar Acosta was released nearly a week after being detained at the Houston airport, but he says his situation isn't uncommon.
It actually happens every day. I'm not just one rare case. It happens every single day. And some people aren't as lucky as I am, and that's the whole reasoning for this event.
In fact, some celebrating his release have experienced the same.
It never feels like it's over. When you look at Cesar's case as well, it's like doing everything, having all the paperwork and stuff like that, and it still feels like you're still having a fight to be here.
Springdale artist Alan Rodriguez previously was detained. He agrees with Cesar that some are in worse situations.
But there's a lot of situations where people are intimidated by ICE and by the situations, and they're coerced into signing things that they don't honestly they don't know what they're reading. And it's one of those things that the more awareness we raise towards these situations, the more we're putting that pressure to have some change that'll benefit everyone.
That's why the newlyweds, along with the community, are joining to share their message, which is you have a voice.
You don't have to be scared. You know what I mean? There's people out there that care. There's people out there that want to help. Find those people. We are those people now. You know, Megan and Cesar are those people. They're getting in touch with attorneys to be able to help those that are quiet. And for us that have a voice, for us that shouldn't be scared or don't have a reason to be scared, we should be their voice. You know, we should step up for those people and find those people.
In Springdale, covering news where you live, Jose Carranza, 5 News.
A statement from the newlyweds attorney says that as of right now, Cesar is not fully in the clear. Their understanding is that the government will be moving forward with removal proceedings. Their attorney says now that Cesar is home, the couple is focused on getting back to normal and are hoping to return to a normal level of privacy. Well, thank you for joining us here today for your top news on this Monday. Make sure to catch up with us again tomorrow right here for more. Have a great day.